Oh my God, you're cracking that. We're here. It's Monday. It's not 3 o'clock, but it's not too far off 3 o'clock.
Don't worry about it.
There's Jeff Gere.
Here's Jeff Gere again.
What is this? Exercise class?
Right. Aerobic TV. Aren't we glad we made it?
I needed this for weeks now. Feeling better
I
now.
do feel better, right?
So, how'd you get in here, Jeff?
I busted in the door and wondered where you were. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you came to ThinkTech today because we have a guest appearing. His name is Jay Fidell. How you doing, Jay? Let's have a hand for him.
Hi. Better now.
Thank you for coming.
We're all warmed up.
What would you like to talk about today?
I'd like to talk about my article, but we don't have time for that.
Okay,
I just submitted it. It'll be hopefully in the Star Advertiser tomorrow. It's about Alan Oshima, the new CEO of HECO. That's all. I'm stopping right there. That's what it's about.
Gee, I have an interesting little story about the Star Advertiser. I got a call on Thursday saying, "Hey, Jeff, you busy Friday at noon?" I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, we just got the winner of the Spooky Story Contest, and we need somebody to do a video about it."
Ooh. What happened
tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
So, yeah, and it came out Sunday, and you can find out what happened if you go to the staradvertiser.com. I'm right on the front page of their website. You can push the little button. The guy there will look a lot... pretty good.
I have a blog there.
Yeah?
And you know what I've been doing? I've been doing video there.
Baby.
So we can put some of this video there.
Oh, I wouldn't
right
mind. Then they'll be real confused. They'll push the wrong button, and then they'll say, "That's not a story."
Life is a story, Jeff.
Hey, guys, life's a story. Did you hear it? It's from Jay Fidell. If that isn't news to you, I've got some other news. We just had a hurricane scare, right? Right. I heard you at home, right? We had a hurricane scare just a couple weeks ago. And the city and county of Honolulu, who puts on the Talk Story Festival, decided, guess what? We don't want people in the park at our event when they could get flooded. So they rescheduled it. And I'm here to say you're still able to come to the biggest storytelling event in the state. Praise the Lord. We didn't get blown away by the hurricane, and you still can come to the biggest storytelling event in the state for free. Yes, you really did hear it right here on ThinkTech. Free, the Talk Story Festival. Now, you may be wondering, Jay, what does that mean?
I am wondering, what does that mean?
Let me fill it in for you. Friday night, it's spooky stories. What is it about Hawaii that loves spooky stories so much, Jay?
I don't know. I have trouble handling them.
You are?
I get all scared. I'm like a kid. I begin to shake and get antsy in my chair.
Jay came last year, and he had a video camera, but about halfway through, I noticed him like this.
Oh.
I think the video was more of his shoe than anything on the stage. He was quivering. I've never seen a grown man grovel around with a camera so much. It was a little bit weird. But I'm telling you, it's not unseen. I have a guy come up to me the other day at the Storytelling Festival and said, "Oh, you know, my wife dragged me down here. She said, 'Good for you to get out of the house.' I say, 'Oh man, I gotta put on some pants.' So I put on some pants. I come down here for the storytelling, the spooky kind. Oh, brother, I had so much fun. I'm coming back tomorrow." Stories are part of the DNA strand of what it means to be human. It is something we trade all the time. We give stories, we take stories, we write stories, we blog stories. We can't get enough of it. How was your day, honey? What'd you do, sweetie?
Story. It's a story.
Well, we got the people who do the storytelling, but they don't just do it to Sweetie and Honey. They do it for hundreds of people, and they've done it for decades. These people are spellcasters, necromancers. They can twist a tale around your ears and take you to another galaxy if they want to. And these guys really can lay it down. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm letting you know. If I didn't believe it, do you think I'd be on ThinkTech again? I've come here again because everybody with ears should turn off the tube and come down to the biggest storytelling talk story festival.
Where is it?
McCoy Pavilion.
I knew that.
Ala Moana Beach Park.
All right.
6 to 9 p.m. Absolutely free. Did I
Okay,
say?
Okay, you said that.
It's free.
It's free.
Yeah. Each hour. Not only is it only Friday spooky. Oh no, Jay. Not just that.
Friday is a spooky Friday.
But Saturday is Pele and Hi'iaka. Excuse me. I'm on ThinkTech. Don't call back. Now, on Saturday,
I wonder who that was.
on Saturday we're doing Pele and Hi'iaka, a massive 3,000-year-old epic Hawaiian tale. It's going to be in English. There are 8 storytellers. Some of them are putting in hula. Many of them are bilingual, so it's a kind of a mix. But I've never heard anybody do it before.
Well, it has a lot, that has a lot to do with Hawaiian culture. It's oral history. It's oral history.
Yeah,
Very important.
yeah. Except I've never heard, well, it got written down in a book in the end of the 1800s, and then it got translated by Puake and Nogelmeyer up at the UH with all of his students who are learning the Hawaiian language and all that. Big movement, very exciting. Book came out, 400 pages. We're going to do it all in 3 hours.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa. All the 400 pages?
Yep, pretty much.
That's terrific.
Pretty much.
That's terrific.
Of course, you've got to codify a lot of it, and some of it is I mean, they don't want to get you to the action. They want to do the poetic language that 2 characters have before the action happens. It's a very different narrative style than Western.
It's the lesson, the cultural lesson.
It's also the nuance, we call it the kauna, the double entendre, the play on words, the poetic reference. So, man, it's thick for a white boy like me to try and figure it out. I have been like a monk in my house, reading this thing, trying to get it in my head, watching for the pictures to appear and get clear, laying in bed and watching the characters talk to each other until they kind of come off my tongue as if they're becoming organic.
You're holding me in suspense. Could you give us a little of it? Could you? Jeff Gere, could you? Master storyteller?
The reason I hesitate, dear viewer, is not because I don't have the story. It's because the story is so vast that to pick up any part of a thread in the middle is to start to pull on the strands that extend both before and after. Characters reappear 300 pages into it. Let me just codify the story a little bit for the listener who might be interested in coming to the Talk Story Festival on Saturday night, November 8th, free, McCoy, 6 to 9.
Free.
Pele fell in love in a dream with a hot hula dancer on Kauai, and she flew there, and let's just say they kissed for 3 days. Then she came back on the beach and woke up and said, "Oh, what a lovely dream. Oh, who wants to go get him for me?" Hi'iaka said, "I'll do it. Hi'iaka ikapolio Pele." And she goes down the windward side of every island, reaching Kauai, only to find he died. Therefore, sent here on a mission to bring him back. It is only required of me now to bring him back to life. They put a kapu on all of Haena, and she says for 2 weeks nobody can come in and out of the valley. And also I need a tea leaf hut. And don't cut the door in. I'll do that. They go to the cliff because the body and the spirit of Lohiau are with 2 mo'o. Mo'o are lizard women, supernatural beings that live in the cave at the top, and they've killed Lohiau and they have his body and his spirit. Hello, hello, hello. Are you there? Oh, Lohiau, I call, do. It is cold. Hello. Oh, waiting for the voice, are you?
Chicken skin.
From behind the mo'o on the top. You have come. Oh, climb the cliff. Find me. Save me. Oh, fool! You think that intrepid thing down there can save you? You're an idiot. goes on, and she starts to climb. She climbs up the cliff. Around her is her Aikane, the woman that's always with her, Wahine o Ma'o. And they climb up the cliff and come down a cascading rain of boulders. One hits her and knocks her off. She's falling through the air, and hand over fist, she begins to climb up the cliff face again. Then come down the rain of logs and branches and the roots of trees. Dodging to one side, one hits her in the head, spinning in the air, Wahine o Ma'o like a rag doll being thrown back and forth. Again, she begins to crawl up the face of the cliff. And then, does she say, the cliff, look to the left, they cannot see the sun, blotted out by the back, then here comes the storm screeching across the sky, scraping heaven, hits the mountain, down comes a waterfall, cascade of water. But her aura is growing. No longer do the boulders hit her. She is crushing them, blowing them apart before they reach her. Hi'iaka crawls hand over hand over the top, and then over all the din, there's another cry. Wahine o Ma'o looks up, and there are the two mo'o coming down. Their mouths are open, claws are extended behind them, their tails are waving. But not too much. Lightning skirt. Cha! Cha! They're blown apart. Their bodies splattered. Blood against the cliff. They fall. Wahine o Ma'o watches them falling down to the bottom of the cliff. The wave washes over their bodies and recedes. And then she sees the bodies coagulate, recombine, and both of the mo'o look up and start to climb after them again. So you can come and hear what happens at the rest of the story. Pele and Hi'iaka, epic tale. I'm telling you, friends, if that don't get you there, then stay home. I'm so excited to see what 8-Bit Rim people do with this story. It's sexy, it's bloody, it's funny, it's supernatural, and it's rooted in the land. You're going down actual places.
Yeah.
Oh.
My God, we're going to have a break now. I have to recover. That's Jeff Gere, master storyteller, and he's talking about this.
The Talk Story Festival.
Okay, it's November
7th and 8th at McCoy Pavilion, 6 to 9, absolutely free. Be there or be square.
All right, we'll be right back, too. Right back.
Hi, I'm Ethan Allen. I'm the host of Likeable Science on ThinkTech Hawaii. We talk about why people should like science, why science is actually fun, how science is a dynamic and vital part of everyone's life, why everyone, every man, woman, and child on the planet should really know science, should love science, should be familiar with science. So it's a great show. People come on here and have interesting conversations with us. They tell us why they do what they do, why they love it, why we should love it too. I hope you'll join us every Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. And of course, you can see it anytime on YouTube. Aloha.
Yeah, but what else?
This is my life, Jay. So, you know, I have got a lot of things going. I am an active fellow. I am active in my community, and my community knows me, and I have a phone number, and I answer calls. Big mistake. Because then people call. And so I have to schedule everything. So in the middle of October, I'm going to have a storytelling festival. It's a big weekend, but I'm used to big weekends. Because after that one comes another big weekend, and another big weekend, and another big weekend. Well, when you move the big weekend back 3 weekends, then you have to start the machine, the media, the push, the scheduling, the website, the bus posters. Everything has to happen that you just finished.
As they say.
And do the stuff that you'd put off and scheduled after.
Oh. You must have lost some storytellers.
We did.
Yeah. But
the
what do you
mainland
have?
people.
What do you have?
We lost the mainland people, but so here's the funny story. because I know so many people in the national community, I start calling around, and gee, lo and behold, the kid from UH Manoa, who was the first one ever from UH Manoa's theater department to win a national award as the most outstanding graduate in children's theater in the nation, got hired by Honolulu Theater for Youth to direct Rakugo holiday stories, is being brought back here, and he'll be here in time to fill in at the Story Festival.
Rakugo?
Yeah, it's a Japanese comedic storytelling form. You know, they sit in a little zabuton and they got the fan. So, anyway, Yasu Ishida calls me. He said, "Oh yeah, Jeff, I like being talk story. I got a great story I want to tell, but it's not spooky." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't do me any good. I want you to do a spooky story." "Oh, well, what? Do a spooky story. That's all." 20 minutes later, he calls me back. "Okay, here's the story. There's a night when Japanese fishermen don't go out on the ocean because they know that that's when the ghost ships are out. The ghost ships are all the people who are fishermen who sunk. That night they all come up and sail on the sea." And of course, in the story, the guy figures, great night to go fishing, huh? And guess what happens?
Ooh.
Here comes the ghost ship.
He gets to see them.
"You don't look like a ghost to me." "Oh yeah, I'm a new ghost. I don't know quite how to do it." Oh. And the thing is, he's going to make a pop-up book. So it opens up and the boat will pop up out of the book. And he's a magician too. So he's going to have things appear and disappear and catch on fire and float up into the sky. I mean, I can't wait to see. And of course, at the end, "We know you're human, but you can join us now."
Ooh. Good job.
That's the fill-in for the ones that couldn't. I'm so excited to see that one. There's also a lady, Pat Masters. I looked her up on the website, and guess what I found? A section from when she came on ThinkTech Hawaii.
Yes.
Pat Masters is a Asian Buddhism scholar, did tons of tours through Japan, taking kids through temples and stuff. And at every one of those temples over the last 10 years when she's gone there, at night they drink sake, and the priests, the monks, tell ghost stories that are real.
Well, we should probably...
Want to hear it? You can. You just got to get in your car and come down to McCoy Pavilion for the Talk Story Festival, November 7th. I'm just telling you. I think this is great. These are great people. They're right in our neighborhood.
How do you prepare for a ghost story? You know, you can't just walk in on it. You have to line up your brain cells in advance, don't you?
Well, we've touched on this topic before. How each person gets to the point where they stand up and make magic is an alchemical process that each artist kind of has to organically come to. Some of them write it all out and then try and memorize it and force their tongue like an actor to spit it out as if they're just speaking it. I prefer to roll it off my tongue and shape it so that it eventually takes on an organic shape that fits my mouth and proclivity for jumping around and making faces.
So I would never, ever
can't guess
have
that,
known.
right? So you kind of find your own way. Since I'm doing the Pele Hi'iaka, it is a book. So I have to make the book talk my language, which is kind of a little odd. But after a while, I mean, that's the only good thing about having 3 weeks more to rehearse. You know, I get to forget about it for a while and let it kind of seep in, like you know how stew is better on the second day or the third day. Stories are sometimes like that. If you don't work on them, it's the best way to work on them.
Now, on the other side of the coin, how do I, as a member of the audience, prepare myself to invest myself into a scary story or maybe one of those cultural stories?
That's really the job of the storyteller. Yeah. Your job as a listener is just to get down there. Because the guys I've got invited, and I can tell you, I don't invite kind of guys. I invite guys who can lay it down. if they don't hold an audience, then my audience won't come back. And since we've been doing it 26 years, I have a pretty good idea of who's going to hit a home run when they stand up. And the ones that can do that, I will bend over backwards. I find hotel rooms. Aqua Hospitality has been quite gracious in giving us hotel rooms for our neighbor island and mainland guests who come so that they can stay in some kind of luxury and not on my floor in the living room. I love them. The other sponsor I have is Alun Farm, who gives me pumpkins. Yeah.
For Halloween.
The strangest thing, I had this idea, I should just get pumpkins. Who grows pumpkins? Well, there's that big field out there where they're building that train. I thought, well, I'll go ask them. What? They can only say no, I've heard that before. I pull up, there's a Thai devotive, I've been to Thailand, the votive altar. I go in the office, there's the Thai king. Alec Alun comes down. We go up in his office, and the starting of the business meeting is like this.
What does that mean?
That's what I wondered. He looked up and he said, "You and I have a lot in common." I said, "Do I look like the biggest farmer in the state to you?" I said, "Huh." And he said, "Yeah, I have a master's degree in the significance of oral narrative." He said, "Yeah, Alun is a Thai name. My grandfather fell in love with a lady in Waianae. He was a farmer. They were farmers. They raised me. I know he's been to Punahou. Smart farmer. Got the biggest farm going in Eva, which is right underneath that train." And he said in the summers, they'd send us kids back to Thailand. And my grandmother would tell me Jataka tales, Buddhist teaching story, like Aesop's fables. Before Buddha, he was an animal, that kind of stuff. And that's what I wrote my master's thesis. Jeff, I'll give you pumpkins for your storytelling festival as long as you ask me.
Ah.
So when the hurricane blew away the festival so that it could be rescheduled for November 7th and 8th down at McCoy Pavilion from 6 to 9 o'clock, I went around to all my sponsors and all my friends and gave them pumpkins, and then I went back to Alun Farm and I unloaded the 45 huge pumpkins that he had given me, and the only thing he said was, "Oh, thanks for bringing them back. Let me know when you need more." Alun Farm.
Thank you, Alun Farms.
Yes, and I'm happy to mention their name as a proud sponsor with the pumpkins galore.
Too cool.
Isn't
Too
it?
cool.
Totally. That's community, yeah?
Yeah.
That's community.
Well, that's what these storytelling sessions are all about, isn't it?
I've noticed that people come in, they're trying to settle, they get settled down, there's a couple of stories like this, but then at some time, the 600 people that we have in there, that the room kind of starts to simmer, and everybody's there who's going there.
They surrender.
You literally can hear the baby in the back of the room gurgling. And to hear a room of 700 people go, "Oh," in the same breath. That's why I'm living.
Yes.
That is a high art.
Yes. Well, I surrender. I surrender. You know, when I went last time, I was enthralled with what was going on. I enjoyed the whole chemistry. I enjoyed watching the storytellers enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And I watched the crowd totally focused on them.
Right.
So I surrender. I'm going to go. I'm going to be there. You're going to see me there. You're going to see me by my camera.
I'm delighted.
Yeah.
I'm delighted. And it's also, I put a lot of time into detail. The Thursday before, Friday is the spooky. I go in there all day and I put up good lights. I hire a professional sound guy. I want a good show. I want it the best listening environment that I can possibly make. The best storytellers, the best environment for the best crowd, local tellers telling local stories to a local crowd where everything matters and it's all taken care of and is exceptionally well done. We have video, 4-camera shoot that we project on the wall next to the stage. Then there's the storytellers, and next to them, we have these sign interpreters who are just blisteringly good. They talk with their face and their hands. There's a ton of emotion that comes through this, because that's part of their exclamation points and stuff. Yeah. It's a fascinating visual feast, plus the stories, plus, of course, when you listen to a story, your mind is engaged. The imagination is coming up with half of it. So you're kind of like in that, other world of story where it's an active thing to listen.
But, how do you really feel?
Yeah, right. I'm very excited. I hope you all make a little time to come down.
That's Jeff Gere, master storyteller. Watch him on November 7th, November 8th, with all his friends and associates telling fabulous stories, changing your life at McCoy Pavilion.
It's a real hot time.
Ready, Jeff?